daughter tackled them in the theater. We found out they were married to none other than Easy and Red Tails, and they promised to bring Nate Parker home to his second home in Pennsylvania. Let's thank him. God bless you. Nate Parker, come on up. Man who needs no introduction. Been all over Erie all week. Celebrate Erie to the mayor, county exec, superintendent of schools, housing authority, 200 public housing students. He made a commitment to Erie, Pennsylvania. Here he is live in Erie and living color, Nate Parker, our man.
I'll be very, very, very brief. There's no greater honor that can be bestowed on a person than to represent his family, his ancestors, and his country. So having the opportunity to do this film it's something that will forever be highlighted in my life. I think it's something that has created more solidarity in our country. I think it's something that has brought healing to a lot of the men and women that have died and served in our country. So at this point, I want to recognize our veterans. If you can stand, if you're able to stand, I want to give you a hand. Without you all, there is no us. So we appreciate you, we love you, and we bless you for all that you've done for our country, and for the encouragement and inspiration that you give to us and our children. Thank you very much. It's so funny how small the world is, right? So we've been trying to put this together. I've been trying to come out and do the Red Tail Squadron thing for about 2 years, but I haven't had the opportunity because of work and it just haven't matched up. So when I got an email from my team asking me to come to, of all places, Erie, Pennsylvania, a place that grew my wonderful wife and her family, I jumped at the opportunity. I've had the opportunity to sit with the mayor, discuss some of the things we can do to encourage the young people and create opportunity in this city. We discussed some of the ways I can use my celebrity that God's given me to influence those things. And I also got the opportunity to sit with John Moran. I don't know if he's here, someone who's dedicated his life to inner city youth here in Erie and housing development. And of course, Gary Horton, someone that has worked tirelessly with his family, his huge family. Every 5 minutes I'm meeting another Horton, and they're just as beautiful as the last, so it's great. But there are a lot of people in place, a fantastic support system in place for this city. So I encourage you all, and everything you do, whatever your profession is, to give a little bit back, to make sure this county and this city continues to grow in a positive way, so the next generations can enjoy the benefits of the city in the same way that you have. This time I want to recognize a brother who has been flying. His father served. You saw him in this amazing movie. After I did the film The Great Debate, I did the film Red Tails, get my movie straight. Movie Red Tails, I got a call from him. We had gotten hooked up, and we've been trying to see each other for the last almost 2 years, right? And Gary told me, I was talking to Greg, and Greg said, well, yeah, we have a pilot coming in, Brad Lang. I said, Brad Lang? I said, I know him. And so I sent an email out and said, will you be here? He said, yes. So it's an incredible opportunity to be here with him. He's just carrying on the legacy of not only his father, but these brave men that came before us and paved the way for the freedoms that we're able to enjoy today. So let's give him a hand. And I actually want to give him an opportunity to come up and speak and be recognized, because every time he opens his mouth, I'm blessed by the words he says. So I want to bring him up at this time, Mr. Brad Lang.
Folks, I can't tell you what an honor and a privilege it is to come to Erie, Pennsylvania, to share with you some of the history, some of the lessons, and some inspirational tools that we have used in the past few years to try to make a difference in many generations. Nate introduced some of the folks here who have given their hard time and passion for this country. There are many others who are not with us any longer. We always want to pay tribute to those who fought for our freedom. that we do with the Commemorative Air Force is we operate World War II aircraft. The P-51 Mustang you see outside represents just one chapter out of 156 different chapters. And there are so many men and women who participated in the world's greatest generation back in World War II, and there's so many stories out there. It just so happens that I am fortunate enough to be in a small town in New Jersey, West Orange, New Jersey, and had parents, including Donald and Helen Langham, who were civil servants, who made an important part to share. They always said to me, share if you can experiences with others and try to better their lives. So what I've tried to do with the Commemorative Air Force is take a little bit of the Tuskegee history with a dynamic aircraft, probably one of the better known airplanes of World War II, the Mustang, the same airplane that the car Mustang was actually named after, which most folks don't know. And I try to connect, or we try to connect the dots between what is history, World War II history, and actually move that into current day exciting history with the youth. So one of the things that we've tried to do, inspiring the youth, is come up with principles that we think are appropriate in schools and also that might help you with your life as you move on. And Nate is aware of these. Are on the side of the exhibit. Gary mentioned them. Aim high, believe in yourself, expect to win, you're ready to go, use your brain, never quit. These are the same principles that my father and mother taught me back in West Orange, New Jersey. And it's a universal principle. We start out with the message of the Airmen, overcoming adversity, of course, but it really applies to each and every one of us in our lives. And that is, how do we rise above our personal challenges in a way similar to the Airmen did. And they had many, many hurdles. If you ever had a chance to sit down with any of these vets from any of the wars, you'll understand that there are always challenges in life. And part of life is figuring out how to get through those challenges. The Airmen did that in a successful way, even at a time when they weren't welcome in this country. And because of their perseverance and dedication, they established an excellent reputation and are well known throughout the world as the first African-American fighter group, the 332nd, to participate and break the ice for those of us in the civilian world of aviation as well as military. Now, as a Delta pilot for 24 years, I can't even tell you how much it means to have men and women who came through that experience many years before. Otherwise, I would not be here at this point in time, flying that aircraft at this point in time. So, just a reminder, it really is about passing on to younger folks and others who aren't aware of American history, the great history that we have in this nation. Men and women who are part of this, and we want to continue the legacy. And we have brilliant young men like Nate and others who go out, participate in projects, and share their passion to motivate others through education. So, when you get a chance, remember to shake those hands of the grandmothers and grandfathers that you take for granted. Thank them if they've had any type of service for this country. They won't be here forever. And remember, everybody's story is unique and contributed to forming this great country. So I'm going to pass this back on to Gary, but I want to thank everyone here, Gary, Greg, all the sponsors, Nick, for having us come here, Nate for coming here from California. Again, it's amazing that we met actually here in Erie, Pennsylvania, and I'm in SoCal as well. But we're here to actually unite and reach out to folks here to let you know that history is important, and there's some great American history that needs to be recognized. Thank you for coming. Stop by and ask questions about the aircraft. Come and see our exhibit, which has a small movie in it. And once again, like I said, the most important thing are the youth out there passing the baton and sharing the education. It can be fun and exciting at the same time, and please remember that. Thank you.
One last thing. I want to thank Greg and North Coast, but I also want to challenge you all. I talked a lot with Greg, and he said, you know, I want more people to know that we have programs here for young people. I think starting at, what do you say, 11, 12 years right here, and they bring them in, they have a program where they give them So if you have a son or a daughter that's between the ages of 12 and 100, raise your hand. Okay, then there's a program here for you guys to learn to fly, to get some hours in. Because while we're here to honor the airmen, we're also here to continue the legacy that is aviation. So make sure that you talk to this man and he will figure it out and help you out. Get your kids and get yourself in so you can get some hours. And I'll give the mic now to Greg and then we'll take it back to Gary.
Hey, let's hear a nice round for these guys. I'm not going to make a big long speech or anything, but the one thing I definitely wanted to make for a point of why we do this event. We've done this event now for our second year. We're going to continue it. Next year is going to be bigger and better. Consistently trying to bring in more and more for you people of Erie. But the one thing that we've always tried to do, Dr. Horton and myself, is we've talked, and it's great to remember the past, but we need to think about the future. And as I look out over the, with all the seats out here, I see a whole lot of future. I see a lot of young kids that are very interested in aviation. Well, there's a program over on that first table that we were talking about as far as for kids. This program is now national. There's over 50 schools in the nation doing it. And it all came out of Erie. It all originated right here. It all came right out of this building that you're in right now. So one thing we want to do is, we're very proud of that, not blowing our own horn about it, but we want our local people, no matter what age they are, if you want to come out here, this is an open gate. This day and age, with all the security that goes on, that's not very easy to do, but we do our best to try to make it. If you just stop by and want to go out and look at an airplane, almost any day we'll do that with you. You know, it's something that is of a time gone past when we used to be able to just come inside the airport and be able to look around and be with it. And when we're honored to have people such as these guys that are here right now, take advantage of this. If you have any questions, please come up to us and ask anything you can. And at this point, I want to give this back to Dr. Horton, and he's over there entertaining his crew. So, Dr. Horton, here you go.
Thank you, Greg. Anyone from the Pittsburgh chapter, Tuskegee, here, would you stand to be recognized? Pittsburgh chapter, Tuskegee, Airmen, no? We have someone all the way from Detroit, Michigan, Frank Davis. Come on up, Frank. Say hello to the Erie people. Come on up. Frank's not a Tuskegee Airman, but he's a part of the chapter up there. He served the United States Air Force, the United States Armed Services in 3 different wars. Let's give Erie welcome to Mr. Frank Davis from Detroit, Michigan.
Hello, everybody. Let me first start by making a correction to my name, Frank Gregory. I flew in 3 wars, Vietnam, Iraq, and Kosovo. I owe my flying career to the Tuskegee Airmen. They opened the doors for me to be able to fly. What I'm doing now is devoting the years I have left to young people, making sure they're able to fly. I thank you all for the support you have given the Tuskegee Airmen. I thank you for the support you have given me. And I ask that you would just continue to support us and our young people. We just sent a young lady to the Legacy Flight Academy at Tuskegee a month ago. She's from Denver, Colorado, and that's what we do, sponsor flight education for young people. So we have a container in the back. Anybody want to make a contribution, it will go to flight outs for young people. Thank you very much, and I'm glad to be here with you today.
Thank you, sir. 2 more items. Erie, Pennsylvania has a connection, several connections to the Tuskegee Airmen that many of you may not be aware of. How many of you are aware of Colonel Phil Cochran? Great military person, decorated from Erie, Pennsylvania. Many of us do not know that Colonel Cochran taught Tuskegee Airmen how to fly over in Africa. He was one of the flight instructors when he was one of his assignments in Africa. And not only did Colonel Cochran hold the airmen in high esteem, he left notations in his papers how much he thought of them as men, number one. As men, number one. Said they are of high moral character. Said they were very determined to do an excellent job. They were committed to our country in excellence. And some of these airmen have quoted, they have been quoted to credit Colonel Cochran with their success in their military endeavors over in World War II. Said he taught them how to fly into close proximity or formation. It helped them both in protecting the bombers and when they were finally allowed to engage the Germans, how to fly with skill. And so Colonel Cochran has a nephew who is in Erie, who has been the recipient of his papers, who is writing a book. And we have well documented that Colonel Cochran came back to the States when it wasn't popular and stood up for these men against the racism and discrimination that they face. And so Erie has a very proud legacy and connection to the Tuskegee Airmen. We're also happy to inform you that there was an African American by the name of Abram Jackson in Erie, Pennsylvania in the 1930s. He was a steward at the Aviation Club. Now I imagine that that gentleman could work at the Aviation Club, but he could not be a member of the Aviation Club. And he certainly was not flying an airplane there. A pilot one day observed him admiring an airplane and offered to teach him how to fly. Abram Jackson learned how to fly in Erie, Pennsylvania. He went to Chicago, Illinois and got his flight instructor's certification. He left Chicago, Abram Jackson, from Erie, Pennsylvania in the 1930s. He went to Latrobe, Pennsylvania and became a ground instructor. From there he went to Tuskegee, Alabama and became one of the Tuskegee Airmen flight instructors. So Erie, Pennsylvania has a proud legacy connection to the Tuskegee Airmen, and we just thank Nate Parker and my friend Brad Lang for being in the Red Tail Squadron Rise Above program, for giving us an opportunity to showcase them and our Erie connection to Tuskegee Airmen. Thank you again. God bless. Dr. Brereton, would you raise your hand? Anybody want to know about Phil Cochran and the connection? Tuskegee Airmen, see the gentleman, he's writing the book. Mr. Kingston Neal, come close us out. I don't know how many of you seen Kingston. I'm going to ask all the young people, stand up. Parents, send all your little kids down front here. Send them all down front. Come on down front and stand with Kingston.